Sure, you'll know about several different ways to generate content, specifically that are best for your business. First of all, if you are in your target group yourself, you don't have to hire influencers to do the content. You can do it yourself. It's actually very simple, and there's no high quality production required. Just take your phone, do a selfie style video talking about the product. The important part is you need to be talking as your consumer, as your customer, not as the seller of the product. So basically, you're giving yourself a testimonial. Now, this is very easy way and very cheap way to do it as well, because you can just record 100 videos, then run them as a test, see what works, what doesn't work. So obviously, it's only if you yourself fall into the demographic of your target group. The second option is to hire a freelancer or buy a piece of content directly from a platform like Fiverr. So Fiverr is a marketplace for freelancers that do small gigs. So you wouldn't hire them for long-term projects. You usually just get one gig. So for example, one video, or you want 5 videos or 10 videos, sort of short-term contracts. It's compared to Upwork, where Upwork is usually more long-term projects, and usually it's higher price, but also higher quality and more diversity in terms of what you can get out of Upwork. So one of the options is to hire content directly, so buy content pieces, and then the next step or the next option is to hire freelancers directly on Upwork, and it's more of a long-term contract. We're going to cover both of those in a follow-up in the next lectures, so you can watch as I hire freelancers directly. When you hire a freelancer on Upwork, the main difference to Fiverr is that on Fiverr you need to give them very specific directions. You give them the videos, the raw videos that you want them to create, and then you let them generate the content for you. On Upwork, you can hire a creative content person, not just a video editor. So if it's going to cost a bit more money, but if you don't have the raw videos yourself, the raw footage, then you can hire a creative video producer, a content producer on Upwork, and you don't have to supply them all the footage, and they'll make the ads for you. That's another the big distinction between the two. In general, any content that you produce and run as ads falls into one of the 4 basic categories. The first one is the influencer videos. That's the ones which we covered. And then the next 3 are animations, product videos, and sales pitches. Animations are commonly used, for example, by Calm.com. It's a billion-dollar meditation app. Most of their ads are animations. Also, a lot of the fitness companies, fitness apps, and fitness products and services, when they run ads on Facebook, animations tend to work really, really well. So they use animations a lot. Then we have product videos. It's very simple, used very frequently for hardware products. If you have a physical product, you can shoot the product directly and run that as an ad if it's appealing and interesting, and you can explain it that way. And then there is so that's used by physical companies, which is pretty obvious and simple. And then there is the sales pitches, and that's used a lot by professionals. So by that I mean consultants, lawyers, maybe dentists, people that have an office. Basically, any service my industry will do more of a sales pitch, which is just talking head and talking straight to the camera, explaining the service. Any ad that you want to produce will fall generally into one of these 4 categories that you can run on social media. So just figure out what's best for your specific type of product. Now, the easiest way to figure out what kind of ad is going to work for you is to look at your competition and find out what works, what kind of ads they're running. So in the next lecture, actually, we're going to cover how to spy your competition and how to see any ad from any company on Facebook or Instagram. And you can learn that, take that as an insight, learn from it, and then use similar content on TikTok, because in that way, you could get some of the insights as well. To recap, now you know that there's 3 alternative ways to creating content. You can do it yourself, so sort of self-style for your target group. You can buy content directly from a platform like Fiverr, or you can hire a content producer from a platform like Upwork. You also know that in general, there's 4 different types of content you'll run. First one is the influencer-generated strategy, which we covered in previous sections. Then there's animations, product videos, and sales pitches. In the next video, I'll show you how you can spy on your competition. Most people don't know that all of the ads from all the companies that are running on Facebook and Instagram are actually publicly available. You can see all of them. In this video, I'm going to show you how to check out all the ads from any company in the world. And by the end, you'll know how to spy on your competition and get insights, get inspired, and then create ads that perform well. You want to start off by going to Facebook Ad Library. So I just looked up Facebook Ad Library in Google. Go ahead and click on the first link. Make sure that you're using Google Chrome. Usually there are issues when you use it in Safari or other browsers, but Google Chrome works really, really well. So the first thing you see will be a landing page like this, and you can just type in any company name that's running any ads on Facebook or Instagram, and it'll all be displayed over here. So as an example, I can go ahead and look up Calm. As you can see, this is Calm. So Calm is a meditation app out of the US. So first off, you want to change the country if it's not correct. Over here showing Portugal, because I'm currently sitting in Portugal, so it'll show whatever country you're sitting in. So you're going to find the country that's relevant for you. I'm going to go ahead and click on the US. Then you can do other sorting by impressions, and then which platform specifically. So in this case, we care about Instagram, because a lot of these will be Instagram story ads, and Instagram story ads are most closely related to TikTok ads. The format is the closest from all of these. So you want to go ahead and select Instagram. You want to look up any company that's a competition or a company that's in a similar space you can learn from. So the point of it isn't to steal or to copy them, is to find out what works well, so you don't have to waste all the time that they have wasted on doing the research. So over here we have com.com, and as you scroll down, you'll be able to see all of the ads. And this is loading slowly, but you can go ahead and actually play one of them. So this is an example of how the ads are working from com. And if you scroll, you'll be able to see the library of all of the ads that they're running. There's a lot of the ads. So you can usually scroll a couple of months back. There's a lot of the ads. Now, the way you find out which ads work well, because if it's a bigger company, they usually run a lot of ads. Some of them are just small tests. What we don't know from here directly, we can see that they are running it on all these platforms. We can see when they started running it, and then we can see the text and the actual video. What we don't see is how much money they're spending and how many times they run the same ad, because it's not visible in this specific platform. So the best way to find out which ads work the best is when you see an ad repeating over and over again. So this is loading really, really slowly. But you would see, when you check it out for yourself, you'll see that there will be a couple of ads, maybe one or two or three of the videos of the creators. They're repeating over and over again, and you tend to see them almost every day. Now, if a company is running an ad almost every day, or is using the same creative multiple times with different text maybe, or in different ways, but if you see the same creative, that means that one creative is working well. So you should use that as a sign of this probably working well, and then try to figure out why that works well. Also, you should scroll through all of the videos and then see a general pattern. Again, if it's a company that's been around for some time, like com.com, they're very experienced with running Instagram ads because they've been doing it for years. So you can sort of spot the patterns and then see what kind of videos are working for them, and you can sort of get inspiration and then do that for your own videos as well. So now you know how to get inspiration from your ads and really check any company in the world and see what ads are running on Facebook and Instagram. This is a really powerful tool, and many people don't actually know about it. In the next lecture, you can follow along as I hire a freelancer or get a piece of content directly on Fiverr. Not knowing how to get good content at an affordable price is one of the most common complaints by companies trying to run ads. In this lecture, I'm going to show you how to get affordable content, probably the most affordable way, other than just shooting a selfie-style video yourself. And by the end, you'll know how to get the same exact content for yourself and for your company. Before we jump in, there's three main things that you need to look out for, or you need to remember when you're hiring freelancers on Fiverr. Number one, you need to have very good examples of exactly what kind of results you want them to achieve. So when you reach out to a freelancer on Fiverr, make sure that you have 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 different videos, different examples of what you want the ad to look like. And this could be something that you've taken from, for example, the Facebook ads, like I showed you in the last lecture. But you need to have very specific things to show them and say, I want the video to look like this, or have this style, or this font. The more specific you can be, the better the result is going to be at the end. The second one is you need to make sure that you understand the package. So when you get a freelancer on Fiverr, they usually offer up to 3 packages. So maybe they'll offer 1 video or 2 videos or 3 videos, and I'll show it to you in a second. But just make sure you understand the package, because a lot of people get confused, and this is where a lot of misunderstanding happens if you don't know what's in the package. Maybe the title of the freelancer is something else than what's in the package, so just make sure this is cleared out. And then the third and the final thing to remember is that you want to hire, I would say, at least 3 to 5 freelancers when you're starting and working with them at the very beginning. It can be sometimes hit and miss with the freelancers. If you're hiring for ads anyways, you're going to use them, so it's not an issue if you hire 3 to 5 different people, because you're going to use all of those ads. You're not wasting any money. But it's good to sort of diversify the risk, and if you get 3 to 5 people, you're going to figure out which ones are the better ones, and you can keep working with them in the future if you want. But if you just do one by one, it'll take too long. So here I am inside Fiverr, and it's just fiverr.com and the Fiverr with double R at the end. And I looked up Instagram story ad. I'm using Instagram story because TikTok ads are just not as popular yet, and most freelancers are still offering Instagram story ads. But again, it's a very similar format, and as close as we can get to TikTok ads that's commonly used. So here we have the search results. There's a bunch of different criteria you can use to filter out your search, but usually just scroll through the options that I see from the top. Now, the most important thing that I look at is the rating, and I would not go for somebody who doesn't have any rating, which means they are new to the platform and haven't actually delivered in the content, and I think it's just too much of a risk to take new people. So even if the price would be very low, it's just not worth it. So as you can see, the prices are actually quite low, and this is the starting price for the lowest package, and then the price goes up as you choose a more complicated package. So for me, the most important would be the rating, and then of course the actual content they're offering matches what we are looking for. So as an example, you can see this person will create Instagram stories and ad. So this person specializes in Instagram stories. The rating is 4.8, which is okay, but this rating is much higher, 4.9, a little higher, but many more ratings. As the number of ratings go up, the total rating tends to decrease because it's just sort of more even representation. So 4.9 is really impressive for 233 different reviews. So we can check out what kind of stories it would be, and go ahead and click on this guy's profile In the meantime, scroll through some of the other options. Again, for example, this is really good rating, but only 3 people have rated it, so it's hard to trust that it's really represents what it is. And in general, you'll see the more ratings somebody has, the longer they've been on the platform, and the more experience they have, and the more reliable they would be. So from this sort of search, this profile seems to be really good, and you can scroll through and see what kind of options they have and what kind of ads they can create. Now, one thing you want to make sure is that you're getting video, not pictures. Again, we're doing it for TikTok, very, very much video-based platform. Pictures are not going to work very well. And here are the different packages I was talking about. So you can see the simple one is over here, €5, almost €5, so it's probably like $6, $7. The next one is standard, and then we have a premium, and there's just different things you're going to get out of it. This also includes animation, motion effect, for example. This doesn't have the animations. Yeah, and then you can see what's included in there. You also get 2 different revisions, so they'll deliver, you can give them feedback, then they'll give you 1 revision or 2 revisions for that. And in general, there's a 2-day delivery. So all these different settings are set by each of the freelancer themselves. Some people will do more or less revisions and more or less delivery time, and also what they put over here. So as soon as you understand what are all the different packages, you can select the one that fits you best. Again, I think it's best to start off with 3 to 5 different freelancers on the platform, and then get 1 or more videos from them. So it's good to start small. You don't spend too much money, and then whoever is the best, you can continue working with them into the future. If you cannot find enough qualified freelancers for whatever search term you provided, you should try to search other terms. For example, here is video ads, and again, I'm going to get a whole bunch of other people. You can see the price is also very different, but it depends on what kind of video ads. So in general, most of the video ads will be thought of as a sort of horizontal style YouTube ads that are very common, but you need to, again, do your research. And then, for example, over here, you can see that these might be also vertical format or square format. So you're going to find influencers that can do videos within your specific format. Now you know how to get very affordable content from freelancers on Fiverr. In the next lecture, we're going to take a look at how to hire a content producer on Upwork. Upwork is probably the biggest freelance marketplace in the world. Once you learn the simple hiring process, you can also scale it and hire freelancers for any other topic, not just ads. So this is a really useful skill to have. In this lecture, I'm going to show you how to hire a content producer on Upwork for your TikTok ads, and how to avoid the 3 main pitfalls. By the end of the lecture, you'll know how to hire freelancers for your specific business. So the 3 main pitfalls that most people, when they start hiring on Upwork, go through. Number 1, hiring only one person. Number 2, providing vague directions. And number 3, interviewing everybody that applies. I'm going to explain all of those in a bit more detail. But let's jump in, and I'll show you how I hire freelancers on Upwork. Here we are inside Upwork, inside the platform. So once you create an account and log in, this is what you're going to see. And I'm going to go ahead and search for a specific topic. So you want to search for a type of influencers. Now the influencers, the freelancers, sorry, they include keywords in their title and subtitle and throughout their profile. So you can use keywords to find specific people. So let's imagine we're creating TikTok ads, and we covered the different types of content you can produce for this, and one of them was animations. So I'll go ahead and just search for product animation. I'm going to do a search bar. Now the main difference between Upwork and Fiverr is that on Fiverr you can get 1 gig, or you get a sort of 1 piece of content or 1 package that you do from a single freelancer. On Upwork, you post a job, so you post a normal job description. You can invite freelancers in there, but also people will apply if you allow it. They'll apply. So you're not just hiring one person, but you're sort of opening a job, and you can take multiple applicants. So over here, as soon as you put in your search criteria, you'll get a list of the freelancers. The first thing we want to do is specify the categories and do some filtration, because there's a lot of talent, but not everybody is relevant for us. In general, freelancers on Upwork tend to be a bit more expensive, but also higher quality than what you find on Fiverr. So it's better for long-term contracts. So I'm going to go ahead and select design and creative, because this is design, and then we're looking for, I think 2D design is the best. Over here, there's all sorts of other, you could get cartoons, brand strategy, whatever, motion graphics, video production, videographer. So it really depends on what is it that you're looking for. I'm going to try and see video production. And there's a couple of them that I would try out. Maybe the 2D animations, video production, or some of the other graphics might be relevant if we're looking for ads. Okay, then the next up is some specific softwares and the other things that are relevant for video, but I'll leave those open because we don't have any specifications over there. As for the location, I tend to prefer to work with freelancers from Eastern Europe and Southeast Asia, because they are very talented, but also much, much cheaper than what you can get in the US or the UK. Oftentimes their English level is on a native level, so it's really good. But yeah, but I usually just leave the locations open, and then we can also work only with agencies or freelancers, but I'll leave that open as well. I don't look at the hourly rate because when a freelancer that seems to be very expensive, but he or she might be very efficient what they do, so do the same job for a much shorter amount of time than somebody who maybe costs half the price, but it might take them twice as long. But you don't know how long it's going to take them, so that's why I don't look at the hourly rate as a good measure or a good filter. Job success rate is very important to me, so I always do 90% and up. This means what's the success rate of their jobs and how satisfied their clients are, so I go for the top every time. And you want to make sure that if earned at least some money, you can go ahead and click $100. You don't want anybody that's brand new on a platform, they've never done any work directly there, and it's just you don't want to take that kind of risk, even if they're cheaper. So I always select at least $100. Hours built, I don't select any of these because there's two ways the freelancers can work. They can work on hourly basis or on project basis. So if you work hourly, you have a certain hourly price, or you pre-agree, like let's say $1,000 for X product or animation or whatever he's looking for. So if they only work on fixed price projects, they will not have any built hours showed. So it's not a very fair filter in that way. So they might be very experienced, but it won't show in the hours that are built. In terms of the English level, I usually just leave it open, but most people have very high level. You want to sort of keep it, I think, fluent. Doesn't have to be native, but definitely fluent. And we don't require any other languages. So these are all the people that have came up, and you want to scroll through and then see what kind of people you're looking for. For example, video sales letter might be a good option if that's what we need, but we need specific ad. You may not necessarily find people that do specifically animations for ads, and that's totally fine. They may not have that specific product listed, but if they do animations, it'll be easy for them to create the ad format. It's just about changing the dimensions of the screen. So I'm going to go through and see what is available over here. So for example, I'll just take a look at this guy. Success rate is pretty good, 92%. So over here we have the animations and talking about story. The most important thing that I look at is the previous projects they have done, and also you can look at the price that they have built those clients. So you can estimate the price for your project based on what you see over here, and there's a more description and the explanation. And then they also have a portfolio, which you can check out. There's other skills and employment history and education, but I think this is all irrelevant to what we're doing over here. Most important is the previous projects and was their success rate. We can see that he's had 14 different jobs. If they had only 1 or 2 jobs and it's a high success rate, it doesn't really tell us much because we don't have enough data, but I think 14 is a good sort of start with the projects. We can take a look at some of the other ones. Whiteboard animations are pretty popular. We can see this one is in the US, so price is a little higher on the hourly basis, but it doesn't mean that it's something we should exclude totally. So let's say you have scrolled through a couple of freelancers and you like their profiles. One thing you can do is you can save it. So I'll go ahead and save it. Now it's saved in my profile. And like I said, you're not hiring one person directly, although you can also do that in Upwork. But the platform is made for creating job posts and then letting people apply for different jobs. So I'm going to go ahead and click on invite to a job. And we don't have a job, so we're going to create a job right now. So we're going to start with creating detailed description. First, you can invite the person that we have just had on the profile, but I'm going to say that I need animations for TikTok ads, I'll say vertical. So it's good to have a very brief, specific description so that freelancers that are applying will understand right away what is it that you need. So I would tell me it's TikTok ads and it's a vertical format. In terms of what we need, I'll just go ahead and select 2D animation. You can also do video production, but I think 2D animation might be the best if you're looking for animation. Again, like this is a hypothetical scenario, so whatever is relevant for your specific product. Go ahead and click on next. And then there's a description. Now, the more details that you provide, the better it's going to be. The most important thing I would include is examples. So list as many examples as possible to show them what kind of delivery that you're expecting from them. And ideally, it can be from your competition. For example, using the previous lecture where we spy on our competition, or any other industry-related examples. I think that's the most important thing that you want to tell them there. Number 2, you want to provide additional materials / videos. So you can upload files over here. If you have any raw materials, you can give them any animations or any videos they want them to include in the video, you can upload them over here, and you can provide that as well. But that's sort of the 2 main things. And then again, description about what you're looking for, and be as specific as possible. Here are some directions about what the deliverable is. So you want to say, it's video. Let's say you want 5 videos. You tell them you want 5 videos. This is the length. These are the dimensions, all the technical requirements for the TikTok ads. So they don't have to look this up and possibly make any mistakes. Give them as much as possible. Again, the more specific you can be, the better the result is going to be. So spend time on writing a really good description on what is the outcome that you want to do, and make sure to say that this is going to be an ad, and then you want people to click through it and then get your product, and then basic information about the product / business. So this is an important step you need to go through and make sure that you are very specific with what you are describing. Next, we have some other details. Now, it's either a one-time project or ongoing project. I like to hire 3 to 5 freelancers. When I'm hiring for a job at the beginning, I'll hire 3 to 5 freelancers for similar jobs, not the same, but very similar. So let's say we're creating animations, then I would hire 3 to 5 different freelancers to do animations, and I'll give them slightly different topics so that I could use all 5 of the videos. They're not exactly the same, but you want to make sure that you get more at the beginning. You never know what outcome is going to be. Even if somebody has a really high success ratio, it might be good work that they delivered, but maybe not within your style, or may not be, it might be within your communication, or there might be, a host of other issues. The best way to really sort of diversify the risk is to hire 3 to 5 freelancers. So I'm going to start with one-time projects, because I like to tell them that this is a one-time project because I'm testing out several different people, and the best one will get an ongoing project. So then we'll create an ongoing one afterwards. It's also good to tell them that what you're doing is that you're selecting the best freelancer. It'll give them a bit of a sort of maybe motivational boost, knowing that there's a competition, and then there is more projects to come. Freelancers like to know that it's not just one-off, but there's a sort of more secure source of income. So it's good that you tell them that that's your plan. You can also add screening questions and cover letters, but I don't think that's relevant for any video-related things. Then you can specify which exact skills you want them to have. This is important if you want to invite other people into the project outside the freelancer that you found. You can just leave it open, other people can apply. And this will help Upwork sort of filter out what kind of requirements they have. So to the animations, you can add many more skills, but that's all we really need. Then I like to let anybody apply. You can also do only on Upwork, or invite only, or anybody that can find a job on the internet. So I usually just leave it open for anybody. And I'm looking to hire several freelancers, like I said, 3 to 5. So I'm going to go ahead and say 4 right in the middle. And then you can add any other preferences, but this is the basic requirements that you need. Like I said, there's either hourly pay or fixed price. If you know the fixed price, you can do a fixed price. That's fantastic. If you can afford an expert, you should totally do it. And then you obviously need to know what's the price for your project. You can't just give a wild guess. So do an hourly price if you know. If you don't know, you can look at the freelancers' portfolios, see what kind of projects they have done, and how much they've charged, and then you know what kind of price you can offer. Obviously, the more you can offer, the higher the talent quality you're going to get, the more skills they're going to have. If you have very low budget, you may not get very talented people. So it's just sort of if you have the money for it. If you don't know a specific price, you can do an hourly pay, and then again choose the level, and then you can say how much time you think it's going to take. If it's a simple animation, less than a month. I don't know how many hours per week exactly. You can just say I don't know, and just an estimate, and then you'll see when the people apply what's their hourly rate. So that's it, and this is the overview. You can double check everything you wrote. That's it. The last step is to just post the job. You can afterwards invite the freelancers that you have saved. Also, you can search for more freelancers, add them, and then over the next couple of days, several freelancers will apply to the job as well. From my experience, it's 1, 2, or 3 days. Most of the people will apply right away. And then, like I said, one of the biggest mistakes, you don't have to interview everybody. I like to be very specific with my criteria. If somebody doesn't fulfill my criteria, I don't interview them, don't even join into the conversation. So as soon as you find a couple of people that you like, you can do quick interviews. I like to do about a quick 10-15 minute Skype call with them, just to make sure the English level is there, and then we can communicate easily and we're on the same page. And as soon as I find 5 people, 3 to 5, that I can do interviews with, I just go ahead and hire them for the project, and then see what kind of delivery they have. Also, a really good thing about hiring more than one person is that you can compare what's there, how quickly do they respond, how involved are they, do they allow you to do any changes to the final product. It's really good to sort of have an understanding, and if you have several of them, you can compare and then see what's normal or not normal, or who is performing the best. So now you know how to hire your very own freelancers on Upwork, which is the biggest freelance platform in the world. As soon as you master just one skill of hiring freelancers for your ads, for example, you can hire them for anything else, anything you can really think of that can be done online. You can hire people on Upwork, so it's a really good skill. And you know, the 3 most common mistakes are hiring only one freelancer, giving them very vague directions, not specific enough, and finally, it's all about interviewing only the people that have been selected and are good, not everybody. In the next lecture, we're going to conclude this entire section. Congratulations, this is the end of Advanced TikTok Ads Strategies and How to Get Amazing Content. You have learned so much in the last couple of lectures. You know that influencer-generated content is going to be the by far best performing content you can get. You also know exactly how to get this content in a 3-step process of researching, negotiating, and editing the videos. You know that there's, in general, 4 types of content that you can produce. Like I mentioned, the first one is the influencer-generated. Then we have the animations, the product videos, and then we get the sales pitches. You also know exactly how to get these other alternative types of content. You can get the quick gigs on Fiverr if you want a quick, affordable way to get content. Do it on Fiverr. If you want to hire content producers, possibly long-term or part-time or full-time freelancers, you can do that on Upwork. And finally, you know how to spy on your competition, get insights and inspiration for your own ads. Again, a huge high five. You've learned a lot in the last couple of lessons, and congratulations on finishing. This is the end of the section. In the next section, we're going to dive deep into Q&A and also answer questions from you and all the other students.